Hey, what's up everybody? In this video we're going to go over, I just made, well, this will be the first, but I'm going to make two RIMEHEART videos using this very specific sword. RIMEHEART, 10% chance to hit, on hit, to instantly deal 10,000 weapon damage as cold to enemies that are frozen. Now, I did make a older video on this, and I did get a comment just, I think yesterday, from Abacuz, and he said that he wished that I went higher than tier 1. So that gave me a great idea, since I was able to get some gear, you know, after that video, that I told him that, you know what, I'll think it up and then I'll make up a video. And actually I have two videos after some testing, and this is the first one. So now let's get right to the skills. Thanks Abacuz for giving me the build idea. My left click is Ray of Frost Numb. This rune with the Ray of Frost gives it a 10% chance to freeze enemies for 1 second. Now, of course, I want to do as much freezing as possible with this. So, of course, this is a cold build. Right click is Blizzard with Frozen Solid. Frozen Solid, enemies caught in the blizzard have a 100% chance to be frozen for 2.5 seconds. Now, this is actually really powerful. Once enemies become unfrozen, I could cast this again and freeze them again for another 2.5 seconds. Very powerful for this build. I have Hydra with Frost Hydra. Of course, this is low arcane power, huge damage output, great for defense because of slowing, and then I also have a helmet that allows this to release Frost Novas after so many seconds. Great for this build. Conjuration, Familiar with Icicle, another freezer. Adds a little bit of damage, 240% weapon damage per little ice ball, and then each one has a 1 in 3 chance to freeze for 1 second. Great for freezing. Magic Weapon Conduit. I have this for the increased damage, along with enemies hit by air attacks restore up to 3 arcane power. And because I am channeling Ray of Frost so much, with this, along with my Hydra and my Blizzard up, since I'm hitting so often, I will constantly regenerate my arcane power. So that's a big one. And then finally, Energy Armor for defense. This is all defense right here. Energy Armor with Prismatic Armor. It's just very effective for Torment 6 because there's a lot of damage in this one. Passive skills, I of course have to go with Cold Blooded, 10% more damage from all sources from, you know, Chill Freeze. So must have for cold builds. Unwavering Will, since I'm going to be standing a lot, channeling Ray of Frost, this is great because it gives me more defense along with increased damage. 10%, not bad. Astral Presence, I have this for my resources, my arcane power. Allows me to channel Ray of Frost on single targets, and then also have a bigger pool for when I'm casting a lot of blizzards. And then finally Blur for more defense. Let's go to the gear. Of course I have RIMEHEART, and like I said, 10,000 weapon damage after the modifiers is such a monstrous hit that a lot of times enemies will just disappear while you're, you know, even Torment 6, weaker enemies will just cease to exist with the one of those when one of those goes off. And if it procs your area damage, it'll mess everybody up around him too. So you'll see it in here in a little bit. Now for my offhand, I highly recommend Light of Grace. This allows Ray of Frost to pierce. Now it becomes like Disintegrate, except with more damage because Ray of Frost has a little bit more weapon damage overall percentage. So really I never use Ray of Frost without this offhand. For my helm, this is the one I was talking about with the Frost Hydra. Now, Frost Hydra periodically casts Frost Nova. So what I'll do with this is cast it near me, typically, and then when enemies get close, it'll start freezing them. That way I don't have to have it in my skill bar, and then this will help with my RIMEHEART procs. And then finally, Frostburn. This is another big one. Gives me a little bit of cold damage increase, but the big one is your cold damage has up to a 35% chance to freeze enemies. Now this of course is modified by proc rates and skills, but of course it helps with anything that you really use as far as cold damage. So highly recommended for this. With this, along with pretty much everything, I'll be freezing everything all the time, and that's just to get this minor chance to deal a huge amount of damage. Also, I do have one legendary gem, Mirain, and since I'm doing 10,000 damage, I wanted to say screw it, do another 2,120, 15% chance, so a higher chance but nothing has to be frozen. So you'll see these dropping from the sky quite a bit. You know, so I'm doing, I don't know, I don't even have my crits up, and you'll just see it. This does help, but it's nothing like this. This 10,000 is ridiculous. And then a 2-piece for Firebird, just for the intelligence. I do have the 3-piece Telrasha. I do really like this when I'm not using Firebird, which is quite a bit. I don't really care for fire in this game. I like the other ones. But anyway, that's besides the point. Mainly this is for, you know, just the 5% extra damage, resistance, arcane power regen. But finally, this will drop cold meteors, which have a chance to freeze or will freeze every 8 seconds, and also leave a patch which does damage. So this is just essentially a damage enhancing set. Not the best by far, but I like it. So I do have 3 pieces of that, along with a ring to give me the 4-piece bonus, ring of royal grandeur. And yeah, that's about it, really. Nothing special with the arm guards, just every time it's just for stats. I could do better. And then this is going to be for my second video, so don't worry about that guy right there. Anyway, okay, let's buff up, look at my stats. Damage seems pretty damn low for doing Torment 6, but really I'm going for these procs, and then that damage actually goes way the fuck up with RIMEHEART along with Mirain. Toughness really high when I'm standing still. As you can see, it'll go down because of my passive. But 18 million while I'm standing still, and recovery 2.2. But my damage is also reduced by half because of Unity. Me and my follower both have Unity, which this is something I highly recommend if you're going to be breaking into Torment 6. Get 2 of these Unities, and then also find the focus for your follower that makes it so that they cannot ever die. This will immediately half your damage if you have these 3 pieces. So if you do want high defense, and then you can focus on more stats or whatnot, you know, even it out, then go for this. But it only works in solo. You do lose your follower in multiplayer, so be careful of that. Anyway, oh man, look at that, 5 off of 10,000. Anyway, so oh, I also get a 15% damage bonus increase from Unity. Pretty good. And reduces duration of control and parry effects by 30%. Since I don't have anything to quickly get at anything, I'll have to freeze and run. Attack speed increase, I did have this up about 30, but I had to change some things around, so now it's down at 23. I like it about 30 or above. Critical hit chance, huge, almost 55%. That's a lot of crit. Critical hit damage, I do like this about 400. I had to drop it down because of the gem and a couple other pieces, I think. Usually it's up about 400%. Area damage, I really wish this was up about 100 to go with the procs on this, but of course a 10% and then a 20%, yeah, it's just, that's a really low percentage for having that proc, but it would help. And as you see, cold damage increase, that's only from the 5% Telrasha and then the 14% Frostburn. If you had this up at maybe 50-60% along with all this, and you know, everything is focused on cold, this would be a monster build. But as it stands right now, it is a feasible Torment 6 build. Defense, of course, pretty damn high across the board. Crowd control reduction. Life, I do like this. Life per hit, 25 grand. Since I'm hitting so much, my life will rapidly regenerate. Only got 10,000 life per second. That's not too bad, but this is huge, and I hate this life per kill shit. For Torment 6, it's terrible. Works great for when you're mowing shit down, but then you're never dying, so I don't know. Just too bad they couldn't do away with this, or, you know, just merge it in with per second per hit. Anyway, nothing else really too special, so let's go see what it can do. Weeping Hollow, here I come. Zoom out here. And what I'm going to do is essentially put up my Frost Hydra and then just kind of spray back and forth, so as many enemies as I could hit. And then of course keep up my Blizzard whenever things are moving too much. So we don't want them moving. If they're moving, they're not getting hit by RIMEHEART. So as you can see, I do not have crit numbers up, and I hate crit numbers. I'd rather just see things die fast. I understand the first time I see the crit number, I know what I'm doing. I don't need to keep it on. I guess I could have put it on for the video, but if you played Torment 6, you know how much damage I'm really doing, you know, overall. So what I'll do is I'll put up my Frost Hydra, right in the middle usually, unless they're tougher or, you know, highly mobile, or else I'll put it on myself. And then I'll just essentially wave my Ray of Frost back and forth. Oh, I didn't even realize these were elites. Anyways, okay, so here's elites. And not too bad, because the freezing is so powerful with this build that your CCs are so strong that nothing really has a chance to do anything besides move a little bit. Then you just toss up, freeze them again, and then they just can't stop being frozen. And then you could essentially just take them out. Not the most powerful killing build, but extremely powerful CCs. And like I said, I highly recommend at least giving it a try. And then on big groups, of course, just wave it back and forth, everything dies. Dope. Don't want to stand in those on Torment 6. Now this, since this is my first video, my first build, the second one is less, this is more of a AoE type, you know, where you can spray it back and forth across huge groups. My next one is more of a single target. You do get higher proc rates, but less of a large area kill, and you'll see that if you watch it. But very effective, very good for staying alive and killing enemies at the same time. Not great in either, kind of a jack of trades build really, but with work this could definitely turn into a very powerful multiplayer and single player build, with cold damage, you know, focusing on a lot. Damn you. So anyway, once again, thanks a lot, Abacus, for giving me the idea for this, or well, I mean bringing it up, and then you know, that got the ball rolling for making up this build. And definitely a very cool build that I have not seen really. A lot of people don't seem to use much besides Firebird for Torment 6, and that's what I try to get away from. And if I do use Firebird, I like to make you know, off builds that I like having fun with. And you do not have to make the build exactly like this at all. Just play around with it, see what you like, what you don't like about it, and you know, just use skills. You could also use Black Hole, that also works very well. Only thing is that I'm not a big fan of cooldowns. I don't know if you watch previous videos, but cooldowns are something I don't really care for, especially long ones. So let me kill these guys and we'll end the video on that note. But oh, also I gotta put a little a note in there. Versus elites, this seems like the proc rate drops down pretty low. As you can see, occasionally you'll see a big chunk of life missing, but that whole time I was doing that, it never procced once. So be careful with elites. Essentially you're just fighting them without RIMEHEART. I don't know, it would be pretty fucking powerful if you're able to still have that 10% chance on them. But otherwise, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to like and or subscribe to Dread's Escape. I got a lot more up, a lot more besides Diablo too, so you know, if you're into shooters, whatever, make sure to check it out. Also, 7 Days to Die is a really fun goddamn game. You gotta check it out. I mean, of course it's still an alpha, but Jesus Christ, never had so much fun with the game in a long time. And it doesn't seem that fun. Everybody's like, what's the point of the game? I'm like, well, fuck, just play it. I couldn't explain it to you. It's just go around and survive, but Jesus, it's fun. So anyway, alright guys, back to the topic. I hope you enjoyed this, and give it a try if you have some of the gear, and of course, work your way up to Torment 6 if you can, and leave comments if you liked it. Alright, thanks.